Before we begin, I just want to give credit to the artists whose art is featured on the concept cards in this video. Their links will be in the description below. I grew up with the tail end of the black and white era of Pokemon. My first ever Pokemon TCG product was a Thundurus EX tin that I got in the 4th grade, and since that day I've always had a special place in my heart for black and white. Since I've been so obsessed with TCG Pocket since its release, I thought it would be a cool idea to come up with some concept cards for some of my favorite black and white legendaries. The first concept card I created was this basic Reshiram card. With Reshiram, I wanted fire type decks to have a low retreat tank that was easy to slot in with existing decks in the meta. His attack outrage will consistently deal either 60 or 70 plus damage for only 2 energy. Combine that with 120 HP and a low retreat cost and we have an excellent tank card. Maybe he'd be better with 100 HP or maybe 110, but I think this is a good spot for him. Maybe some adjustments could be made to the total damage output, but I like the concept of never losing on a coin flip, and I think many of you would agree. Obviously, since I created a basic version, I wanted to make an EX version as well. Surprisingly, the only basic fire EX in the game to this day is Moltres, so this card would be the second ever. The first attack on this card is Purifying Flame, dealing 50 damage for 2 energy and removing all special conditions from this card. I think that this is an excellent attack, especially in the current meta with Poison Barb and that new Ultra Beast that increases poison damage. The second attack, Noble Roar, does 80 damage but also flips a coin. If heads, your opponent's next attack will deal 30 less damage, which can keep Reshiram EX fighting for longer. Although I wanted to give it a 1 retreat cost, I think that would make the card too overpowered. But let me know what you think in the comments below. The next card I made was a basic Zekrom card. The idea I had with this card is similar to Reshiram, to provide a tank that can be slotted in easily with pre-existing decks and not have an entirely useless attack. His attack is pretty interesting because it ignores Pokemon tools, which essentially makes them useless in your opponent's deck. 50 for 2 energy isn't bad, and 120 HP for a non-EX basic lightning card is huge, because lightning cards have a tendency to have lower HP than the other types. Obviously, I had to make a Zekrom EX card as well, and this is probably one of my favorite concepts that I've made. Now, before we get into any of the attacks or the ability, one thing to note here is that Zekrom EX is one of the few lightning cards, and the first Lightning EX card to have a retreat cost of over 1, but I think it's justified when you read everything he can do. The idea again here with Zekrom EX was to provide a tank for lightning type decks that primarily rely on glass cannon attackers with high damage and low HP. Zekrom fills a mid-range where he doesn't do a lot of damage but has good HP and a strong ability. Because the energy generation is so important, allowing your bench Pokemon to charge up their energy without fear of being damaged using Zekrom EX's ability is extremely powerful. At the same time, it's not the most overpowered ability in the world. Your opponent can still Sabrina or Cyrus the card out or swap it out in another way, since the ability can only be used from the active spot. His attack Bolt Strike does 80 for 3, but gains plus 20 damage for each point your opponent has taken, which means the attack only gets stronger as the game goes on. The next card is also one of my favorite Pokemon ever, and that is Black Kyurem, so it was also one of my favorites to design. This card is a dragon type, so no weaknesses, which is great. It's also one of the highest HP basic dragon cards we have, which is another strong point for the card. Now this card solves every person who runs a dragon type deck's biggest fear, which is consistently pulling the wrong energy. Black Kyurem's free shock ability allows you to use water energy as lightning and vice versa. This makes it a versatile card. You can run it in dragon decks obviously, but you could also run it in water decks and take advantage of Irida or Misty. You could also use it in lightning decks and use it as a strong tank. Its attack has a heavy energy cost and its retreat cost is miserable, but I love the idea and concept of this card and its ability specifically so much. I also designed White Kyurem, who is very similar to his brother. His ability is the same, except it's fire energy and water energy this time. His attack isn't as strong, but paralysis is a pretty good status condition. Just like Black Kyurem, I absolutely love the design and concept of this card. Maybe it would be better for their abilities to be usable from the bench, but I think that might be too overpowered. Let me know what you think in the comments below though. Next up we have Thundurus. His first attack is insanely good, capable of one-shotting 60 HP starter Pokemon. This is huge because stage 2 lines are everywhere now that Rare Candy has been added to the game. His second attack benefits from adding Tornadus to your lightning decks and can do a respectable 100 damage for 3 energy. 100 HP is fair, especially with the 1 retreat cost. We also have Tornadus, and he's decent. His ability is basically a free Sabrina with no downsides. He only uses colorless energy so you can slot him into any deck, and his attack isn't too bad. 1 retreat cost on him as well, which makes him a solid tank, especially with his relatively high HP. Last but not least, we have Landorus. With so many attacks discarding energy, I wanted to work with the discard pile in some way. Attaching 1 energy from the discard pile once per turn to any of your Pokemon means that you only get stronger the more your opponent takes from you. His attack is devastating and fitting for his character and design. Maybe it could deal less damage, but the exact values aren't too important to me. He has a 2 retreat cost unlike his brothers, but really you just want him for his ability. In the end, I love designing these cards, but I want to know what you think. Did you like the concepts? Feel that they could be better? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you for watching.